Well, good afternoon, everyone. Currently at Floyd Bennett Field. Uh, it's an abandoned airfield here. I come here to my motorcycle skills and try to get better. So, if the situation does arise, I make out of it a lot better without scratches and stuff. That's what I'm saying. All right. So, why am I making this video? From the title, it should be why I bought the Rebel 500, specifically this one. And yeah, so there's a bunch of things. I knew what type of bike I was gonna get. I looked at a bunch of types of motorcycles, and I preferred either the hyper naked motorcycles or the cruisers. Now the problem with this one that well, upon researching, I figured out that there's not a lot of great beginner cruisers out there, sadly. But the Rebel is probably one of the best, if not the best, beginner motorcycles out there. But why did I go with the 500 option rather than the 300 or the 1100 option? I'm going to discuss that as well. And what are some of the advantages and disadvantages I have with this motorcycle? So let me turn it on really quickly and show you exactly where am I at so it's 456 miles currently. And yeah, I've been driving it for a while, commuting, basically going mainly to work with this. There's a bunch of things that I've installed already in it, like the back seat. I think these are bands called grips. I think the color is called gum, and they do kind of fit with the motorcycle color aesthetic. Although I think the brown ones would be more better. I just went with the gum ones because they look nice in the videos that I had seen previously. As you can see, I've installed to the tank pads. These are I installed them myself. So same as here. I really like the tank pads that the Honda was giving out. These are the OEM versions of the tank pad. I know there's some aftermarket third-party options available as well. Some people go with that. I just wanted to go with the Honda ones. All right. So, what does the Rebel 500 bring at the table? Well, the motorcycle in of itself is a 471cc liquid cooled. Right here is the radiator, so it's liquid cooled, parallel twin engine right here. As you could see, the two pistons are usually located here. And yeah, so it's a parallel twin liquid cooled cruiser motorcycle, as Honda likes to call it. However, the community overall does not prefer to call it anything like a heritage cruiser. Definitely it's not a heritage cruiser, that's for sure. The reason being, a usual heritage cruiser usually has the controls located somewhere front, and the type of engine the motorcycle usually has is V-twin. This is a parallel twin, not a V-twin. So that's some of the reasons why this is not a heritage cruiser. It's pretty much getting the engine straight from the 500 lineup that Honda has, specifically from the CBR 500. And yeah, so a lot of people like to call this a mix of cruiser with a sports hyper naked bike. It's completely fine. I think we can all agree on that. This is not a heritage cruiser, but it does get the job done for me. I liked cruisers, and it's a fast cruiser. It's not mainly made to go for the speed, but it gives you plenty of enough power to go either on the street or on the highway. And that actually answers the question of why I went with the 500 option rather than the 300 option. So the 300 option can go on a highway, that's for sure, but it lacks, you're gonna need to want a little bit of more comfortability, because it revs out like crazy. Even this bike, I've seen when it reaches like somewhere around 16 miles per hour, it revs out, like it starts vibrating. Although be it that could be because the, what is it called, break-in period hasn't ended, which ends at 600 miles as the manual says, and the dealership said that as well. So at 600 miles the break-in period ends, and we're gonna have to take this baby to the to get its first service done, which is usually oil filter change, the oil change, and that's pretty much it. I do not know about the chains. I need to look into. I did order something for the chain cleaner and a chain lubricant, which I need to still apply, because I just felt like, you know, that's something, because here in New York City the weather changes a lot. It rains a lot as well. Currently it's summer. It's pretty hot outside right now, and it rains a lot. You know, the chain has to go through a lot of stuff. And this is not like it's being parked in a garage or anything. It's being parked on the street. So I do use a cover for it, but you know, there will be times where the chain will, you know, has to go through all season. So it has yet to go through the winter season yet, you know, the snow and stuff. So we'll see how it goes, but I definitely bought something preemptively, you know, to take care of the chain. I did clean it today, just because I knew that I was going to be making this video. Yeah, the Rebel 500 here. I definitely was kind of tired of going through taking the subway. I've been here in New York City specifically since 2015, and throughout all my years, most of the time I've traveled in the subway. I've had both good and bad experiences, you know, and I'm sure a lot of people are still going through that experiences. And don't get me wrong, there are cons of traveling with within a motorcycle. That's completely agreed on, that traveling on a motorcycle is dangerous. I think I heard Motojutsu say, who by the way you should check out for if you want informational videos on, you know, how to drive a motorcycle specifically. Motojutsu is the guy. You know, he's a very straight to point person, and I like the way he teaches certain things. I actually had a few questions about swerving from the MSF course. I did get it down, but I just didn't know how the physics worked around it. And Motojutsu, you know, he has a bunch of videos on it, so definitely go check out that guy. He's amazing. But yeah, also I had to install these myself. With the back seat came with the back pedals, foot pegs for the passenger. So it was a pain getting them installed because the bolts weren't coming off, and so they require some, you know, work to get them off. But yeah, this bike, I haven't encountered any issues with it so far. So far it's going well. I can't really talk about miles per gallon on this motorcycle, as sadly what I was expecting online is not what I'm getting. People were saying something like they were getting around 65 to 70 miles per gallon. For me, I think it lasts around somewhere around 50, 51. That's it. I think that's the max it can go. Now it could be the way that I handle it, and usually I'm traveling on the BQE, you know, and yeah, so that could be the reason, because I'm going and hitting those higher speeds all the time. You know, capping out at sixth gear. But yeah, that's the MPG that I got pretty much from it. So this is pretty much the special edition of the 2023 model. So it is a brand new bike, and the reason I went with a brand new bike rather than getting a used one was because I didn't want to actually tackle. I didn't have any mechanic that I knew personally that, you know, could go with me and inspect the bike from a used one. The other problem is all the used ones, the good used ones, are actually located out of state, and I don't have any travel means to get there. So that was another problem. And then, you know, doing documentation, you know, getting if it does, doing the background research on the person, making sure that he doesn't have any accident records, and, you know, that the motorcycle is under his name, you know, the title is clean and all of that, you know. So I didn't want to go through that problem, so I went with the dealership, bought a brand new one. I was trying to look for a black one. Honda has been having some issues with supply and demand, and the way they handle their dealings with the dealerships is actually quite weird. Rather than the dealerships telling them about, hey, I sold your bike, can you give me another model of that? It's the other way around. There's a listing from Honda that is given to the dealerships, and they have to pick and choose the amount and which type of motorcycles they need from them within the list. And that list comes up pretty much twice or three times. I think it comes two times in a year. So yeah, there's a supply and demand issue going on. I was really lucky to get this motorcycle. Somebody had actually already warned me of trying to, if I do find one, definitely grab it, because this is one of the most sold motorcycles out there for Honda. It's a really good beginner motorcycle. More than enough power, aggressive looks, mid control, 6 gearbox. You know, it's more than enough that you need for commuting, both on the highway, which I haven't done fully on the freeway. I haven't traveled on the freeway yet, but I pretty much do live on the BQE, and yeah, it performs really well. I really love this motorcycle, and yeah, that's why I went with this motorcycle specifically, because of the looks and the amount of power it had. Was more than enough for me. And yeah, if you have any questions about the motorcycle, you know, do let me know. I will try to answer. I try to answer all the questions that are in the comment section. I do read them. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching.